And
Yeah.
I sometimes, I think we're really fortunate because we got a lot of teachers in our family, and the teachers in our family are really good teachers.
Yeah.
So like when I look at how much effort and how much time like Grandma and Aunt Yolanda and Aunt Yvette put into figuring out what they're gonna do with these kids or do for the kids, all of the projects
for
and
us
stuff.
when we were in elementary school.
I just remember Aunt Yolanda like making all those boards when we were going to Parkview. I vividly remember like walking in her classroom and being like, man, I wish I was in her class. Look at all this stuff.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Pencil Brothers Podcast. This is Aaron.
This is Elliot.
Hope everybody out there is having a fantastical day today.
Fantastical.
So
what are we talking about?
First of all, I've been watching this new show, Abbott Elementary.
Is that new?
No.
Oh, all right. I'm just making sure.
For all the people out there that don't know, we're not going to do any spoilers, but just give you a baseline. It's a TV show about elementary school teachers and kind of like
show.
The things that they go through. You know, you got some younger teachers, some older teachers, basically. And it's a
cute show.
I would say it's like an old school quality level sitcom, but with a new school set of issues and things that they're addressing.
You feel like it's old school? I feel
no,
like
I'm talking about the quality level. I'm talking like you had sitcoms that were more Martin and Fresh Prince than the Blackish and some of the newer ones that aren't as popular. I
feel like Abbott Elementary falls more in like the Blackish, like maybe The Office kind of category. That's where it feels like it's
closer to.
It's closer to
Office.
those than like Martin or Family Matters or like those old style sitcoms because it's less campy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but
it
the thing that I like about it is that I feel like, you know, one, as a millennial, I do feel like a lot of the things the younger teachers are going through.
Actually,
as being a person that's in your 20s, working with people in their 50s and 60s, it's almost like, man, I know that struggle.
Yeah, where like they're like, oh no, this isn't a problem. You can do this and this, and you're like, bro, I can't afford none of that. What do you mean?
Yeah, like, and they're all struggling. Yeah, and they're just trying to make it, and
trying to figure it out. Student loans and all the other nonsense.
Because honestly, that's what we're kind of all dealing with. You know, we're all, as a nation, to be honest, not just teachers, but we're all kind of out here trying to figure it out through student debt, you know, through trying to afford to pay for whatever you're trying to pay for and live the life that the best way you can. And, but it's also hilarious. Like, it's really, really funny.
It is genuinely funny.
Yeah. It's a lot of laugh out loud moments. Like, we're like, wow. The girl who actually, I guess she's the executive producer of the show, the person who came up with the show, Quinta Brunson. She created the show. Me and Justice have like kind of followed her through her career because we were big on BuzzFeed when she was there, when they was doing the like, you know, people react or people try, whatever. Yeah. So she was one of the innovators on BuzzFeed, and then she took her talents elsewhere. And so I was really happy to see like her, the dude from Everybody Hates Chris, on the show. What was it? Tyler Williams.
Yeah, Tyler Williams. Everything I've seen him in, he was in a movie where he was dating a white girl, which was kind of hilarious in the context of the movie. But he was dating a white girl, but he was from Virginia in the movie, and it was just really funny.
He's been in some good stuff.
He's been in some really good stuff.
Like that movie
Wanda Sykes.
Peoples with Craig Robinson is the main character, and he's dating Kerry Washington.
I don't think I've seen this.
What?
Is it on Netflix?
I don't think so. People's, it's like, no, it's a real movie. Like, I went to theaters. It's a real movie.
I mean, is it on Netflix now?
No, I don't know. It might be. We watched it a couple months ago. No, it's like Craig Robinson. He's dating Kerry Washington.
I don't know who Craig Robinson is. I know Kerry Washington.
Yeah, no, Craig Robinson from This Is the End, the black guy. He's in like Hot Tub Time Machine and all those movies with
This is the end. Okay, I know that movie.
Yes. Yeah, you know who Craig Robinson is.
I'm going to take your word for it. Anyway, what's your point?
So, this guy.
Oh,
Craig Robinson. Yeah.
Okay. No, I do know who that is.
Okay.
You just gave me all the worst movies. You should have said the black dude that's always in the Pineapple Express movies with.
I haven't seen Pineapple Express.
Oh, well, he's in all the movies with Seth Rogen.
That's what I was about to say. With Seth Rogen and with the dude from Spider-Man.
I know who you're talking about. The brother,
the crazy one. Franklin. James Franco.
There we go.
Yeah, those guys.
Listen, we got
Jonah Hill, all those guys.
Yeah. So
they're
always in movies together.
Yeah, but anyway, the point that I was making was
he was in the office. He was in the office too.
Yes, he was. But this guy Tyler Williams, he was in Peoples. That was a hilarious movie.
Wait. Was he dating Kiara Washington?
Craig Robinson was dating Kerry Washington. Yes,
that's hilarious. I actually need to see
her
this movie.
Brother was him. Was I think his name was Brian Tyler Williams. I think that's his name.
I think you're right. I think it is Brian.
Yeah, that was her brother in the movie. And you know, everything I've seen him in, he was in that Christmas movie with all the teenagers.
He makes everything better because he does in the interviews that I've seen him, he seems to just take it serious that he wants to convey the point of the story. He actually wants to be a team player and act it out. Yeah. And there's something to be said. You know who your pinch hitters are, your people who are showing up to work. Samuel L. Jackson is the same way. Everything he's in, he's usually, if not the best part, he's one of the best parts of every movie he's in. Just because he's showing up, he's going to give you what you need to make the story better. And
it's not going to be garbage.
Exactly. He's never phoning it in. Yeah. And I really like people who bring that sort of work ethic. Because it's hard, man. Sometimes you showing up for something you really don't want to do, but even when I don't want to do the stuff I have to do for my job, at a certain point, if you're going to do it, you might as well do a good job. I mean,
yeah, I've always, as far as me, every job that I've had, I've always prided myself in being the relief guy. Yeah. The side guy. That's what I used to call it when I was working at Firehouse.
Yeah. The guy you're oh, I'm so glad he's here.
When, when people call me or when they see I'm on the schedule, oh, thank God.
Yes. Oh.
That's me. And so,
I don't got to worry about him.
It might not be perfect every time, but it's going to be good.
Right. I'm an asset on every team I'm on. Right. Blank period.
And so, the thing about this show that I really like, besides the fact that it's the corny comedy that I like, it's the Office level, really funny.
Yes. Sometimes it's cringe. You're just ooh, no, why did she say that?
But the thing that I like is I think that it gives a fair depiction of multiple different perspectives.
Yeah.
So I think it's very fair when you look at people that are a little older professionals working with our generation and some of the struggles they go through dealing with younger people that are on the level with them. Mm-hmm. And also vice versa, right?
Struggles we have dealing with them sometimes.
And they also show the idea of what it's like to work for a supervisor that has no idea what she's doing.
And should not have the job.
Yeah, but it's
sometimes even has her heart in the right place, but really should not have the job.
Yeah, but every now and then in the show, she's surprised to see.
Yes, which is hilarious. I think that's the best part of the show is that she is, it's kind of what The Office got right? Because
early Michael on, Scott.
Yes, because early on the problem was there was nothing redeemable about Michael, okay? Yeah. Almost the whole first season, it was like that, where he was just the worst. But then the next season, they kind of balanced it out. So he is still the worst. But every so often, you realize, no, he's just a goofy guy trying genuinely to do the best he can do. He's just wrong. 90%. Everything he thinks is the right thing is just the wrong way to go about it. So I really like that they give their worst characters something redeemable. Yeah. Because I think the best
every character is important.
The best part of the show is that every single person actually matters to the story. Every single person is contributing. You don't have if this person weren't on the show, the show could just be fine. And everybody has their part to play.
And there's serious character development. That's another thing, right? So it puts me in the mind of I would say Daredevil. So in Daredevil. In the greatest TV show of all time.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
You had me nervous. I thought we was about to talk about Ben Affleck.
We are not talking about Ben Affleck. Even though Ben Affleck's Batman is actually not bad. Unpopular opinion.
Listen, it shouldn't be. I think Ben Affleck's Batman is probably top 5 Batman.
Yeah. He's definitely one of the best Bruce Wayne. But we're getting off topic.
You're right.
We'll get back to Batman
later. Abbott Elementary.
But no, the point that I'm making is in Netflix's, now it's Disney's Daredevil, the greatest TV show of all time. They take lot of
all time, not Game of Thrones or
no, Daredevil's better. I like Game of Thrones a lot, but anyway, so in Netflix's now it's Disney's Daredevil, the greatest TV show of all time. They took a lot of time to make sure that they really developed out every single character, and they showed you their background. They showed you why the things that bother them in the show bother them.
Yeah, they gave you a reason to care.
Yeah, because exactly. Gave you a sense of they have credibility to earn your concern while you're watching it.
Yeah.
And so in this show, in Abbott Elementary, I feel like watching it, I'm afraid that, the main character's feelings will get hurt.
Yeah.
Or I'm afraid that the relationships between certain people who have love interests aren't going to happen.
Work out, yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? And so it's almost while you're watching it,
You're
really feeling it. Yeah, you're rooting for people.
For all the characters. You start rooting for the kids. You start rooting for the teachers to like have a good relationship.
Wait till you get to season 2. You're really gonna be rooting for everybody.
Okay, here's the wild thing. Okay, don't spoil anything.
No, I'm not gonna.
The moments where where Brian Tyler Cohen, whatever. The moments when he is like
Brian Tyler Cohen is that political guy.
Oh, you're not wrong. I knew I was gonna mess that up.
Brian?
I said, don't say Brian Tyler Cohen. That's a white guy. We're talking about Brian Tyler Williams, and then I still said
his name though. It might
I
not
don't
be.
know.
Brian.
It might not be.
It's Tyler James Williams. We tear it to pieces.
Listen, we tearing this poor man's name up.
Okay, Tyler James Williams.
Tyler James Williams. TJW.
We'll call him TJ.
We're gonna call him TJ. The moments where you see him interacting with the kids as the sub, and the kids are really like, "Oh, we really like you," and he's like, "I like y'all too. It's kind of cool teaching." And he's like beginning to develop like a relationship with the kids.
That ramp up between him going from a sub to a teacher,
a real teacher,
it's almost like wow.
And it's so powerful because I don't think people realize the effect that men around kids has, and how like thirsty a lot of kids are just for any kind of male attention. Because like that's something I noticed at church, like the fact that we got a whole lot of guys that work with children's church makes the kids more well behaved. You got a lot, you got all the girls that work back there. Alyssa's back there with them. You got all the different ladies at the church that work with the kids, but having men back there,
especially for the boys.
It just brings a different kind of accountability to the kids. It brings a different kind of expectation. They're like, oh, okay, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get that out of pocket. Whereas I don't know what it is. It just they don't have the same awareness sometimes.
Well, I think that, if we look biblically, I think there's a reason why you have
got both,
right? Because I think that both genders play a role. That's all.
You need that polarity, as some people would
say. I mean,
so,
I don't think it's, I don't think that that's anything
controversial.
Because drawing back the point that you made to the show, that is something that I noticed as well. So I really I like how much they teach each other too.
Yes.
Like the older teachers are trying so hard to keep everything situated.
Right.
But the younger teachers are like, hey, we got some ideas too.
Yeah,
it's cool.
And it's important not just that we go by the book and we teach the kids what we know will work, but we need to be looking for new and interesting ways to keep the kids interested. Because every new generation of kids, they got siblings, they got older friends, they got other people who are going to be like, oh, this is what you're going to go over. And if they think they already know what you're doing, especially if you got really smart kids, they're going to get out ahead of you anyway. So you need to have something that's going to keep them engaged in what's going on and keep them guessing. And I sometimes, I think we're really fortunate because we got a lot of teachers in our family, and the teachers in our family are really good teachers. Yeah. So when I look at how much effort and how much time Grandma and Aunt Yolanda and Aunt Yvette put into figuring out what they're gonna do with these kids or do for the kids, all of the projects and stuff.
When we were in elementary school,
I just remember Aunt Yolanda making all those boards when we were going to Parkview. I vividly remember walking in her classroom and being like, man, I wish I was in her class. Look at all this stuff.
So we had her and Aunt Yvette over for dinner recently, and Aunt Yolanda was talking about how she made sure all three of us, me, you, and Lil Tony, were put into the best teachers' classes, and how hands-on she was with ensuring year to year, pre-K to kindergarten. Nope, Aaron ain't going to that class. Nope, Anthony not going to that class. You going right over here. This is a better teacher. This is a better system. She's gonna be able to, And I think so that helped us. I think.
Now I need to ask you a question, okay? Was she the reason I ended up in Miss Young's class 2 years in a row?
Probably.
Is that her fault?
Probably, to be honest.
I don't appreciate that decision. She might have thought Miss Young was the best teacher for me. I'm never going to agree with that decision.
Is that the one that got mad at you for reading?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, wait. I gotta be real, because I have a chip on my shoulder about this. I never forgot it, okay? It wasn't that she had a problem with me reading. The problem was I would do all of my work and I would be done faster than everybody else. And then I would ask her, hey, is there anything else you want me to do, or can I read? And she would say, no, just sit down
and do nothing
and be quiet and do nothing.
Maybe you should have skipped the grade.
No, I don't.
Been more challenged.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I should have skipped a grade, because maturity-wise, I don't think I was actually there. I think I would have been. I wouldn't have been well served by being with older kids in that way. I should have been more challenged. There probably should have been more assignments, or they should have just let me read the books I was reading, if I'm honest. And one of the things that has me vacillating, right? Thinking about like what homeschooling might look like for my kids and things of that nature. One of the things is there was always something that I wanted that I don't think I could have got from like the way school is done now. And I don't know if you can get it from school, but I don't know. So before I homeschool my own kids, I would really sit down and have a conversation with Aunt Yolanda and Aunt Yvette about like what that would look like, what they think I would need to do if I were going to try and do it, and like why, because I'm sure they have opinions. I'm sure they think, no, you probably shouldn't do that, and here's why. So I just want to solicit their opinions on that, because I do think like there's a lot of beneficial stuff socially that you get when you actually go to school. There's a lot of beneficial stuff that like me as like a layperson who like I know what my view of the world, what you need to know, but there's going to be stuff that I just know intrinsically that I would never think a child needs to know that they've already figured out and added to curriculums. There's probably some random like history or English thing that I would never think to teach my kids about, like predicates and adverbs and all that stuff that I just don't care about.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't homeschool my kids personally. Yeah, because I feel like even though, yes, I do think that we are smart people, I think that there are topics that you're just not going to remember. Like, you can buy a homeschooling book, but there's certain things, there's certain social skills, the ability to understand, like a lot of the things that we went through in school, between communicating with others, having a locker next to other people, having to share space in the band room,
and figuring out how to navigate those situations.
Learning how to deal with conflicts in a semi-work environment, which would be at the school.
That's true.
And so, like, those types of things, I feel like you miss when like I always talk about the good thing about having siblings, right?
Yeah.
Lots of people have only children. No, okay.
There's nothing wrong with it.
But I feel like you learn a lot of your social skills
by navigating relationships with your siblings. I agree with you.
If it's just you and your mom, or you and your mom and dad,
you're not
whatever.
Gonna get that. And so this is why, like in my head, the way it will work is from basically, pre-K all the way up to middle school age, so 6th grade. I would homeschool them. I would teach them all the basics. I would also teach them how to learn. Because I think that's the thing when you have a classroom of 30 like little kids, it's very difficult to get those kids to understand like how to be bad at a thing, understand that you're bad at a thing, and then navigate being bad at a thing long enough to be at least middling or adept at it. Because once you get to like an adept level of understanding with most things, from there you can decide, okay, am I genuinely interested, or do I know enough to like be dangerous and I can move on to stuff I'm more interested in? Because I think that's the skill that, I don't know, just doesn't get like accentuated. It doesn't get focused on in school, because you can learn whatever you want to. Like, we're smart enough to literally do anything we set our mind to. Like, I want to learn almost anything. I don't think there's a single thing that you can name me that you could not do just because. There are things you're not interested in.
There are things I'm not going to do.
Right.
I told you I'm looking at a PhD program.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But, I don't know what types of goals you have. You know something that I have? A goal?
What's that?
See, the problem is we don't have the same type of drive that I be having, because this is something I would like to do. I would like me and Halia to take a foreign language class, learn a foreign, not Spanish, not French, not something basic.
And for what purpose?
No. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Because that's going to be the best part. Take some rando language, like I don't know, like Indonesian. Mandarin, Swahili, like something rando, something we couldn't learn at Nansemond.
Yes.
Just so that we could talk about people in a foreign language in front of them.
Listen.
No. That's not the reason.
Repent.
So we could I would like to learn a foreign language fluently, and communicate with her, so that our kid would have multiple languages at once. Because they say like kids do better learning multiple languages
when they're learning language. Yeah.
Right. When they're little.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it has something to do with your ability to like interact with concepts in that other language.
And I also think a lot of your communication skills are not locked in, so I think maybe you're a little more susceptible to understand, hey, this is the rules in Spanish, but these are the rules in English. Like, you're still learning. So I think that's probably part of it. But
okay, so
I'm no social scientist.
Well, I've watched a bunch of videos on this, so I know literally nothing. But I understand a little bit, right? I understand what I understand about it. So the explanations I've seen is there's something about the way that a kid absorbs information when they're little and they're trying to learn language that is very different from how you absorb information when you're an adult. So like when you're little, everything is like nothing. Basically, everything is just gray, and you're like taking it and you're just sticking it into almost like straws in a foam ball, and you're just kind of taking random foam balls and you put them together, just seeing how they fit, how other people are using them, blah, blah, blah. But as you understand language and you start figuring out how to communicate and how to talk, like everything kind of gets mashed together, and then it solidifies once you're like 2, 3, 4, and by the time you turn 5 or so, everything is now like a structure, and then everything that you learn after that is being built on top of that structure that you were just kind of grabbing and putting together when you were like between 2 and 4.
Yeah, so, and I think back of those years that you're talking about, the structure. You know, Grandma used to talk about how impressed she was with Mom, and how Mom was aggressively like, no, I need you guys to learn stuff before you go to Parkview.
Yes, before
and so
you
Mom
go to school.
took a lot of time.
She really
she wasn't one of those, you know, yelling at you.
No, she was just
if
like,
I had 5 pennies, and you know, she wasn't doing that. No, but Mom was super patient, and she made sure, like, we were reading ahead of our time, because she took the time to teach you how to read.
I think about, because do you remember what your experience? Because I vaguely remember what it was like for you reading, because you came like a year after me, almost exactly.
I don't remember, but I think it was difficult for me.
I feel
maybe it wasn't.
I feel
Something
like
was hard.
You were easier than I was for reading. I feel like Mom had a really hard time teaching me to read, because there are some memories that I distinctly have of us sitting at the table, and Mom being like, "You're not leaving this table until you finish this book."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "But I don't get it. I don't understand it." She's like, "I understand that, but you're gonna sit right here, and we're gonna go through it together until you get it." And like, I would cry, I was frustrated, I was upset, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually I was like, okay, all right.
There was a lot of days of, like, the one thing, their patience outweighed our crying.
Yeah.
Because I think of, you know, I always think about it when I had to learn how to ride that bike.
Oh, man. I remember that.
That was like the worst.
Bro, because you really did not want to.
The thing was, Dad, you know, shout outs to Dad. Because Dad was, back then, you know, Dad was just like,
he was a force of nature, bro.
You're not gonna quit.
Yeah,
and that was just the end of the conversation. Like, that was it.
This man had infinite stamina.
It was a calm. You're not gonna quit.
Yeah, it was a wall, right? Yeah. So like, you walk up to a wall, you're not pushing it over.
No, it's not moving.
You can poke it. You can lean on it.
And so I remember I had that little bike, and it was I had training wheels.
Yeah.
And it had the little Tony the Tiger stripes on it.
Yup.
It was white and orange, and it had little black stripes all over it, like a tiger.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to ride it all over the place. And then one day, Dad took them training wheels off. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Dad sat there and unscrewed them training wheels right off my bike.
Yup.
And I said, "Oh, I get to ride a big boy bike like Elliot." And he's like, "Yep, that's right." I get on that joint. Boop. Right to the ground. And then
you were like, "I don't like this. Can you put the training wheels back on?"
He's like, "No." And he said, "You're going to learn how to ride a bike today." And I was like, "But I can't." And he's like, "Oh, yes, you can." And like, they took that level approach with everything, right? And so, to be honest, sometimes it can be frustrating to people around us because we take that level of approach, with everything we do, right? Well, and so because he was like, I remember I tried to go back in the house, and
he was like, "No, you're not."
Like, "No, go back outside." I sat outside on that bike and cried and fell over and cried and fell over.
I remember.
And Dad came out after about an hour. He said, "Okay, we're gonna try one more time." And he, pushed me on the bike.
Down. Yep.
I was like, "Now, what you do is you pedal and you got to hold yourself up." And so he'd let go. I'd lean. He'd stop me. And he'd say, "You feel that? You're leaning. You got to stay on the bike." And he'd let go. And I'd lean. And he'd grab me. And he'd pull me back. "You feel that? You're leaning." He's like, "All right, you got it." Back in the house. It was nighttime. I figured it out.
You did. And
7 hours later. But
what's funny, okay, is as torturous as that experience probably felt, like being the child who had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think it gives you a level of empowerment internally that you never forget. You never forget what it felt like to go from, I have no idea how to do this, to, okay, I kind of got an idea how to do this. I can do this. Like the ability to see yourself through like that situation will apply to every other situation in your life. Because no matter how bad things are, all you got to do is be convinced, okay, I mean, this is bad. Okay, I have messed this up. But we can figure it out.
We're going to get this done.
Yeah, we can get it done. I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and I got these parts I still got to figure out. But let's do the stuff I can do, and let's see how much closer we can get to the accomplished goal. And man,
like Dad used to say, make it happen.
Make it happen. And you know what? I think which again, this is one of the reasons I'm vacillating, right? I'm not hard locked in on homeschooling, because the other thing is like somebody got to pay some bills around my house. So
I can't do it.
Like,
I'm telling you now, my kids are going to public school.
Hey, here's the thing. My wife makes really good money. It is potential like for us to like have a situation where, because she loves her job and I like my job, that maybe she gets to a point where she's making enough money to cover things for the first couple of years. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to navigate it, because she's obviously going to be out for maternity leave some amount of time. And then after that, we'll have to negotiate what that's going to look like.
I don't know if her job offers maternity leave. A lot of jobs don't.
Oh, no. A lot of jobs we're don't. Both, no. We're in the blessed section. So not only do we have maternity leave, her job gives like 10 weeks.
10?
Yeah.
Weak sauce. My job gives 12 to the man's and the woman.
Okay, yeah, no, we ain't that blessed. I think my job gives me 8 weeks as the
man. No, I tell my wife, when
man.
you give me a child, I'm telling you, my plan is to be at home when you go back to work. Like, for real. Like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. You know, like,
I know you're not playing. You healed up? You good?
Good. Have a nice day.
Right.
I'll be here.
Love you.
I still got about 6 weeks of maternity leave.
Yeah. Me and the baby going to be having a good old time when you get back.
We're going to the pharmacy.
Right? We're going to the park.
Yeah, and we're going to the Goodwill. Don't worry. I'll put them in the cart.
Listen, you gonna be a money saving machine.
Oh, I already am. We've been saving for that for like a year now. No,
hey,
no child.
Everybody relax.
Yet. Everybody relax.
Yeah, right. Don't get too excited.
No, the thing is, the way healthcare and stuff is these days, you really
man, you
like
can't.
If you have any complications or whatever, like the hospital bills.
Yeah.
Hey, here's an $8,000 bill. Like,
listen, if we manage to not get nuked into oblivion, maybe they'll figure that out, and we'll have better healthcare by the time we have kids.
We won't.
Yeah, but, I'm not gonna hold my breath.
It's unfortunate because the boom's gonna kill us all. But anyway, so
enough of that.
Overall, out of our depression here, you guys, please go check out Abbott Elementary,
bro. So it's such a good.
It's a great show. It's a lot of beautiful black faces on it.
Yeah.
If you
got kids in school.
Another reason why I like a lot of shows, like movies and stuff, like Black Panther 2, for example. Like I love to see the diversity of the cast.
Yeah.
And I was telling you earlier, I don't, it's not just like Whoopi Goldberg, Morgan Freeman, and Denzel anymore. Like, honestly, it's hundreds and hundreds and
lots
hundreds.
and lots of people.
Thousands of black actors and actresses.
And to be fair, there have always been lots of black actors. I think the problem has always been they've been kind of relegated to like the specific kinds of roles. Yeah. Yeah. So you always see them in the same context. So
what's that name for that?
Typecast.
Yes, typecasting.
Yeah.
Where you're
they're always the sergeant.
Yeah, angry police captain or military person or a drug dealer.
Yeah, and that's kind of where you get to be. Yeah. And seeing black people in all different kinds of roles, like seeing a whole, that's terrible. Seeing a whole cast of black teachers, or maybe not a whole cast, because there's some white people there too.
Yeah,
but
white teachers.
Seeing like a good mixed cast with like positive, aspirational, I can see myself in that person.
Black
characters is
black
really,
male
really cool.
teachers, black administrators.
That's why Carl Winslow was so cool back in the day. Because Carl Winslow would definitely get on his, nah. See, I'm a black police officer.
But I'm black first.
What I'm not about to accept is you being out here talking to my son crazy. Like those episodes where he goes sideways on the bad police were always some of my favorite episodes. Because I felt like that was the one thing that was missing from the police conversation is, listen, if you're a police officer, it's your job.
To help stop
check them. Yeah. Because like you gotta enforce the law on y'all too. And that's the hard part. Because, man, like, I really feel for Dad. Because, we talk sometimes. But, like, I feel for him because, like, when you have this much negativity around a field, it's kind of like, I imagine, like, military is probably the same thing right now. People looking at the military and looking at how we kind of dog military people out, how, they don't have the support they really need sometimes once they're getting out. The fact that they had to fight so hard to get people to pay for the burn pit medical care.
The only reason they got that medical care is because Jon Stewart.
And because he made them look so bad in the public for so long.
They voted it down.
Yeah.
The Republicans voted it down and said,
trash.
You've been inhaling toxic chemicals because they basically throw all of the human waste, the food, the metal, everything. Anything near a military base overseas. Yeah. And then they dump jet fuel on it and light it on fire.
Yeah.
And then the people that are on the base
Just got to breathe that smoke in.
Breathe it in. Then they develop all these diseases, and then the military's like, oh,
that wasn't our fault.
Cancer. What name's so? That's got nothing to do with us, which is crazy. Yeah. So, but as always,
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why we wouldn't just pay for whatever healthcare problems they have.
Oh, I know. It's because there's a lot of money to be made in, not paying for it.
Yeah, you're right.
So, unfortunately, those soldiers would then have to go get a supplemental plan to help cover what their military healthcare plan wouldn't cover.
It baffles the mind that it doesn't cover anything.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, the idea that you're not covered when we have the medical equipment and care to be given is still
I guess
we have the drug that'll solve a lot of these people's problems,
but you can't.
It's just sorry.
Yeah, but you can't have it. You gotta pay for that.
A corporate billionaire has another $500 to make off of that pill that costs $8 to create, with U.S. tax dollars funding the creation of it.
Now,
so he needs another yacht.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
I'm sorry. We're getting off.
We are getting off topic because we were supposed to be light on the politics. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna get off it. Let's just get off it.
All right. I actually want to talk to you. So you remember going to Parkview, right?
Yes.
Way back in the day, right?
Yes.
What did you really like about going to a Montessori school versus some of the other schools we ended up going to later down the line?
What made it that?
So my understanding was it was the kind of learn as you go, learn at your own pace type of teaching.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember what that was like?
Yes. You remember the rugs? And you would have the assignments on the wall? You don't remember that?
Rugs?
Yes. That's so crazy because there's stuff about rugs in the show.
Is there? I don't know if it was this season 1?
Yeah.
I got to go back and look at it
go
again.
back and
rewatch.
But no, the teacher was talking about how sometimes a rug is a student's safe space and a place where they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so then the story time for the little elementary kids. I remember. Do you remember elementary school where the teachers would read to you?
Yes.
And I remember,
because we would do reading and then we'd have nap time afterwards. Where you put your head down for 30 minutes.
Class and Miss Painter and Miss DeSanto in second grade, but Miss Painter was first grade.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Miss Andrews in kindergarten, they would have these books that would be so good, but then you'd have those elementary school teachers that was to read it in the voices.
Yes.
And then you're sitting on the floor wrapped around this teacher, right?
Yeah.
And they're reading this story like Junie B. Jones or Amelia Bedelia was
whatever.
That was my thing. Uh-huh. I loved Amelia Bedelia, and but sometimes they wouldn't finish the book.
Yeah, they'd be like, okay.
Or they're reading a big book, right?
Right. Okay, that's all we're gonna do for today.
Oh my gosh, it was literally.
No!
It was like when Dragon Ball Z would stop in the middle of a fight. It was you come on. You go, okay. I remember we used to beg Miss Painter
to read another
just
chapter.
One more page, please.
Don't leave it like that. I want to know what happened.
I need to know: did she bake the pie or not? So no, that's what
So that was the part you liked.
Well, there was that, and then also, I liked, when you say learn as you go, I remember specifically there were certain classes you'd have assignments on the wall, right? They have all these instructions and stuff.
Yes.
And you'd have
the rug. That I do remember.
You roll the rug out. You pick an assignment. You had to write it in your little notebook.
Yes.
Write your name, the date.
I do remember that.
And you would do this pre-made assignment. On your rug, and I remember that, and it was.
So
nice.
I don't remember the rugs, and it might have just been different teachers had different ways of going about it. I remember there was a box, and it had all the lessons for the year in the box.
Yep, I remember that.
And there were cards for each lesson, and it was 1.1, 1.2, whatever.
You had to do all of them,
and you had to do all of them, but you could just go and get them out and do them as you got to them. So I would go and I would grab 10 cards because I'd be like, well, why am I going to do one? And
that was how it used to be, but some people would do one in a whole half day.
Because I was like, no, I want to finish all of these so I can go read. That was my goal. I'm like, I want to learn all this information, and I wasn't the kid who just wanted to blaze through it. Actually, maybe I was. I don't feel like I was, but knowing me, I probably was. But I would go and I would do all the assignments. I would actually do them, so I would kind of understand the concepts by the time I was done. And I would get through 10 cards and be like, okay, that's enough. I'm gonna read for the day. And the teacher would be like, Elliot, did you do your work? I'm like, yes. See, I did all of these cards. And you're like, well, before you read, you probably need to do some more of those because you still have all of these that you got to get through for the year. So eventually, it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna read till I finish all of these. So then I would go in every day. With a mission. I was like, no. I got to get 15 more cards done today because I need to get 45 cars done total so I can actually read.
See, I wasn't thinking on this level. He's going.
I was going OD, but that was because I was like capable of understanding all information. I was like, oh, this is just busy work. I just got to do the work.
Yeah.
So like that was my favorite thing, was like I could come in and be like, oh no, I really understand this information. See, I know this and I know this and I know this, and I had some really good teachers who, instead of just letting me blaze through all the work and then sit in the back of the classroom and read, they're like, hold on. If you've already done all of this parts, this person is still working on these. Can you help them?
Right.
And so now I'm like, oh yeah, I can help, because I'm trying to be helpful and I'm not disengaged from the classroom and just sitting in the back minding my own business.
No, I wasn't trying to work that fast.
Nah. And they have a little helper. This was like, I think this was 4th grade.
What grade did nap time end? Was it first?
Nah, ours was like 3rd grade. It was when they stopped doing it. Because 2nd grade even, we still had, they called it quiet time. They didn't call it nap time.
Were you taking a nap? I feel like I took a nap in Mr. Santos' class.
Yeah, because like.
But that was 2nd grade for me.
We stopped being able to lay down basically when I was in kindergarten. Like, they didn't let us lay down. They would turn the light off and you put your head down on your desk.
Was that?
That was kindergarten for me. So I started in kindergarten. I would put my head down on the desk, and then 1st grade it would be quiet time. So same thing. Turn the lights off. Everybody is just quiet. You get a quiet section.
Took a nap in Miss Painter's
for like
class.
30 minutes.
Maybe we didn't take a nap in 1st grade.
Maybe you did.
I know I did in pre-K, Miss Woo's class.
And I didn't go to pre-K.
Oh, I did. And then when I went to Miss Andrews' class for kindergarten, I feel like we did take a nap.
And you might have. I just know I didn't. We put our heads down on the desk.
I hated nap time until I woke up. I remember every time I laid down, I was like,
I don't want to lay down. Yeah.
But then you
fall
don't,
asleep.
because as a child, you don't realize
how much
you really
need
this nap.
Yeah.
And then when you wake up from your nap, you are like so ready to go.
You're like
yes, time for recess or lunch or something.
Let's
like,
go
hook me up.
Yeah.
But like, no, it was nice. I elementary school, you know, if you compare that to the other schools we went to, it was not. No. I don't think it's good. Like,
it's funny. Like, I honestly, our time in pre-K and our time at Nansman were like, in my opinion, like the best schools.
Parkview.
What'd I say?
You said pre-K.
Yeah. Parkview.
I agree with you, because I think we went to Nansman in one of the golden eras of Nansman.
I agree.
And then
the band was great.
Was
the
very
teachers
good.
were great. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Mack was still there.
Yeah, Mr.
I
Mack
think
was
he
still
made
there.
going to Nansman
different.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're a good student, we were good students. We were not getting like suspended or failing or any of that. But
and here's the funny thing: even the people who are having really hard times while we were there, I
still feel like they liked the school. Most people liked going to Nansman.
Most people like the principals there. Most people like
the
experience of going to school. True, but I feel like Miltier was just the heel, and I feel like that was almost on purpose.
He was the heel because everyone loved Miss Bibbo.
Everybody loved Miss Bibbo. Everybody loved Mr. Mack. And then Miltier was just like, okay, I'm gonna just be an a-hole.
What's the other dude's name? Mr. Carnegie, the big dude.
Yeah, but was he a principal?
He was an assistant principal. And he retired. Like,
I'm gonna take your word for it.
He retired before I was a senior. He retired like.
I think you're right. I think he was an assistant principal.
Sophomore year or something like that.
He was the one that I would always forget because I would remember Miltier and Bibbo.
Miltier was the main.
Yeah, no, he was definitely a heel, and like he kind of was that way on purpose because he would just be a jerk for no reason.
I never had a conversation with him the entire time I was in school.
I avoided him like the plague because like he was what I imagine people don't like when they think of like interacting with police in general. Like the guy who you have a conversation and he's just like digging for something to be upset about or for something to take you to the office for. Hey, why are you out of class? I got to pass. I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, well, like how I just saw you walk down this hallway a little while ago. Yeah, I was going to a different class. She sent me to the other classroom to get something. I had a hall pass there. Well, I don't understand why you outside the class so much. You need to get back to class, young man. You didn't ask me no questions about why any of this stuff is occurring. You just making a lot of conjecture and you upset because I'm out of classroom. I have reasons. I'm a good student. Why are you giving me the 5th degree? But like that was the energy he brought to interactions. So I was like, I ain't got no time for this dude. I'm gonna just avoid him. If I see him, I'm walking the other way.
Mr. Mack was never really like that though.
No, never.
I think it was weird. He kind of made going to school not just fun, but almost like you felt purpose in it.
Well, because he was the guy who I felt like Mr. Mack would bring the I like and hate using this word, the gravitas to like why you're at school. So when you have a conversation with Mr. Mack, he's like, why are you here, young man? Yeah. You're here to get an education. It's really important. One day you're gonna, go out into the real world and you're gonna look back on these days fondly and you're gonna use all of the stuff you're learning now to blah 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 blah. And he would give you all these feel good like emotions about like why you're here.
Keep it a stack with you though. A little salty with Mr. Mack.
Why is that? What'd he do?
I played at every graduation with the exception of mine. I played at yours.
You did.
Mr. Macklemore cried at every graduation except for 2013 when I graduated.
How you know he didn't cry?
Because I was graduating. I was there.
What you're saying is he didn't cry on stage that
year. Yes. He cried at yours. What was that, 11? He cried in 12? He cried at 2010?
His eyes was just dry that day.
Yeah, whatever. I was like, how dare you?
He was having an allergic reaction.
Not get choked up. But no, I mean,
he wasn't attached to y'all the same way.
You know, man, graduation was crazy.
It is every year.
You know, I hate. So when I graduated from college, right? Mm-hmm. That was like the most emotional that I ever got. I teared up. We all did. Mm-hmm. You know, man, it was. Anyway, it was an emotional moment.
It was an emotional moment.
It was very emotional. Like even my grad school thing wasn't like that. I mean, because I didn't know those people. I knew.
Yeah. High school was the end. It was really the end of an era.
Yeah,
like you knew, okay, like the rest of my life is gonna be.
Man, I couldn't believe. But the thing was, right? I didn't know I was going straight to grad school when I left Virginia State.
Of course not.
When I left Naismith, I knew, okay, you're going straight to Virginia State.
Yeah,
we already know this ain't over. When I left Virginia State,
you didn't know.
It was like, man, like these people are going back to Chicago and New York and California. Like I might literally never see these adults again.
Yeah,
and it was, so that was why I felt more. Like a completion, like the end, a gut punch. So,
man,
but yeah, college. We're gonna have a discussion about college one of these days. You know, this end of the school year is coming up for the high schoolers.
It is, man.
So we'll talk about
some of the kids already. They going off to the military or wherever else.
Yeah, so going off to HBCUs, PWIs, community college.
Be safe, bro.
Trade schools. So one day we'll have a discussion about that.
Definitely gonna have to.
But
anyway, listen. This has been the Pencil Brothers podcast. I'm Elliot.
This is Aaron,
and we are out.